Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start dropping. He's left on second and change.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for Tuesday nights. It's the BSC Summer Season Round 10. Live from Indianapolis. The Brickyard itself is going to bring 75 laps of action. The stage break at lap 30. For this evening, these guys are going to have their work cut out. It's going to be, I'm sure, an incredible situation and an incredible race here this evening as well. I am Jace Parfitt, going to be joined once again in the booth by Mr. Kenton Sportak. Let's take a look at the scores itself this evening. You can see on your screen, Clint Altman is out in top on 350 points with Andrew Williams on 338 and Christian Estrada on 284 with Devon Collicott on 273, tied with Noel Jackowitz, Nick Stockner, Alex Witt, Hunter Carson, Andrew Burrell, Andrew Jamelin, Brandon McLaughlin, Matthew Norberg, Seth Pegg, Armand Brusso, Calvin Ross, Joshua Kuhn all come behind that with Trenton Kimmel, Joshua B. Keefe, Cody Kern, Rob Sizemore, Anthony Radell, TJ Spainhour, Andrew Onquist, Tom Kuhn, Jason Taylor, Brad Young, Greg Sherman, Christian Bryant, Brett Sherman, Ryan Whitlock, Dan Michelle and Max Christensen are finishing off the list of drivers here as well. Well, what do we think is going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what, let's bring the man in the booth with all the knowledge of the Brickyard. It is one Mr. Kenton Sportak. Kenton, welcome everybody. How are you?
Doing well. Getting excited for a very fun time at the Brickyard, famous for its wonderful little bricklaying section of its original track style at the start-finish line.
Yes, I have seen that, and I have had a look at that as well. The track itself, asphalt and brick. Obviously, the start-finish line is the brick on it. 2.5 miles, 4 turns, 9.2 degrees, and the straights are 0 degrees. So they've got 0 degree banking on the straights, and apparently 9.2 degrees on this rectangle oval. It's been going since 1909. Very old.
A couple of years. Yeah. A little dated. I think that's what, 114 years? As of currently, it will be 115, I guess, once it reaches its air quotes birthday in August 14th, so a little early. I'm shocked they wouldn't have pushed it to that, to have it race on its like actual birthday, especially coming up to 115 years of this race or this circuit. But what do I know?
I don't know. What do you know, Ken? And that is the question itself. All right, realistically, right, I don't mind this circuit. Now, we're talking just before we come on air, and obviously you were saying you don't mind it on IndyCar. What's the situation with Cup Series? What do you think this track is going to bring for the Cup Series cars here? Are we so used to Indy cars that we shouldn't have Cup cars on here? You know, because obviously generally the Indy 500 and stuff like that is Indy, cars and stuff. What do you think? Should we have Cup cars running around here?
I mean, it's not the worst track. Obviously, we've seen some pretty rough tracks over the last while. Chicago Street Circuit, we are talking about you. But the thing I always hated about this is for Indy cars, because they can turn so much more aggressively, I guess, than the Cup cars can. The corners each feel individual throughout the entirety of the run. So, they come out of turn 1, they have a second, and then they go into turn 2. I find with the Cup cars, because they can't turn quite as, I guess, on a dime, if you will, turn 1 and 2 kind of blend like a normal oval circuit would. Because it's not like you really, go all the way out and then come back down. Like, it's just a slightly more awkward version of a normal oval. It still does work. I just find maybe if the banking was a little bit higher, it would be, you'd carry more speed, because you have to get to a point of being so slow. And I don't know, it's not the worst by any means, but it's just it's fine for a Cup car.
It's fine.
It's no Daytona or Talladega, but it's fine. It works. Like, obviously it was decent enough that they have had to steal it for Pocono at least once. They've done some very interesting bits and pieces in actual like pop culture and things like that about it. So it does have some fame, but for the most part, it's usually IndyCar, not so much Cup cars that they're stock car that they usually are referencing with a lot of it, but it does happen.
Okay, no worries. Don't forget this weekend as well, on Sunday, July the 21st, it is the Brickyard 400 presented by PBG Race Day at Indianapolis as well. You can get your reserved seats starting at $60. Flex and general admission, also $60. Sunday general admission is $45. So if you want to go and see the Cup cars, you can, and obviously you can go and have a Sunday track walk from 12 p.m. to 12:45 for $20 as well. Xfinities are there on the Saturday. You can go and check them out for the Pennzoil 250. Again, reserve seating $55, general admission $55. Well, actually, no. Saturday flex admission is $55. General admission is $40 as well. So you can go and check that out if you really want to, and if you really want to go up there for the whole weekend, you can do as well for the practice sessions that will be taking place on the Friday. It is $25 access, so go and check it out as well. IndianapolisMotorSpeedway.com/events/Brickyard/ buy tickets if you really want to go and check them out there as well. Anna McIntyre in YouTube chat. Good luck, Andrew, number 121, and Orange Wheel Racing from Nana, as these guys are in qualifying at the moment. Clint Holtman is in 5th place. Andrew Williams is topping on 1st, with Nick Stockner in 6th. So the Orange Wheel Racing, I think they're looking at 11 in a row now that they've gone and taken the win. So we'll have to see if they can obviously extend that record further here once again. Never fancied going to Indy yourself, Kenton?
Probably not, for a multitude of reasons. Outside of really going to see this, I'm not a fan of any of the other teams that are there, so I wouldn't have much of a reason to be out there. And football season wouldn't have started, and I don't like to fly, not because I'm like afraid of flying or anything. I just don't like being in confined spaces with little leg room, because while I'm only 6 feet tall, about 5.5 of it is legs. So airplanes are atrocious, and I despise them, because unless you pay extra, you get no leg room, but eat a few too many cheeseburgers, here's a free seat. So,
oh, Kenton, go political. I know, I do agree with you. I don't like flying either. Again, I don't like being squashed. I'm 6'1". Don't get me wrong. There's more fat on a Robin Redbreast, but I just can't sit squished in like an absolute sardines, and it's just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Right, let's have a look at the grid for this race here. Andrew Williams is on pole with Andrew Jamelin alongside him in second, Christian Strada in third, and Devon Collicott in fourth, Clint Holtman in fifth, Nick Stockner in sixth. Then you've got Matthew Norberg and Hunter Carlson on row 4 in seventh and eighth. Andrew Burrell rounds out row 5 with Noel Jackowitz and Alex Witt and Calvin Ross down in 11th and 12th respectively. Brian McClellan 13th, Brian Whitlock 14th, Armor Brusso in 15th, Brad Young 16th, Trenton Kimmel, Josh Keefe, Tom Kuhn and Rob Sizemore there rounding out the grid of 20 cars here this evening as well. What do we think is going to happen? I've been sat here watching practice, haven't seen a massive amounts of spins or dramas that we generally would normally see in a practice session. Do we think we're going to have many of the yellows, or do we think we might get to the first stage on lap 30?
I wouldn't be shocked if we hit first stage of lap 30 with no yellows or one yellow kind of thing. The nice thing about the Indianapolis track is it is fairly wide. There's lots of space. And because there's not a huge amount of banking, it being only 9 in the corners, and then obviously dropping to 0 on the straights, it's not a drastic change. It's not like you're going from 24 or 29 to 3. So because there's less of that drastic sort of cornering, coming out of the corners, you're not, even if you're on the throttle a little early, it's less likely to make the back end kick out because there's not that sudden massive change in height and kind of how the car balance and all that kind of stuff and where the weight is. So things don't get slammed around nearly as much. It's a little easier to sort of maintain that kind of speed without having too many problems going in any other direction. So it does make life a little nicer for that, but we will see. I think most, if all of the situations we find ourselves in are going to be a little more slated around people's making mistakes on their own, not so much just complete spin outs. It's going to be more like, oh, didn't see that person and clipped them kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep an eye and we'll see how these guys get on here as well. You can see Chevy on the top with the 2 Fords behind. Chevy's behind that, and then the Camry of Hunter Carlson, Ross, McLaughlin and Whitlock rocking the Camrys here as well. So let's see how these guys get on and see whether or not they're going to be able to get through. I got a funny feeling that Matthew Norberg has missed the start of the race and is in the pit lane. That's not a good start for Matt Norberg.
No, it does make it a little harder to start from pit lane. I didn't see anything saying that there was anyone having a end of line that I remember from last week at Pocono. No, nothing popped up. So more than likely just needed a quick water break before the race and wasn't able to get back here in time.
Okay, no worries. We do have the returning Bradley Young out on the grid there as well. Bradley in his traditional Mountain Dew liveried machine there. So Bradley in his Mountain Dew Chevrolet once again. Another livery for I guess another brand, another flavor, is it? Or what's he got?
I think it's Flamin' Hot.
Flaming Hot flavor. Flaming Hot flavor. Is that a thing?
Yes. I don't know. I have never heard of it. I don't drink enough Mountain Dew, apparently.
No, me neither. I don't think we might have it in the UK. Probably. I don't really pay much attention.
It is a thing.
Oh, somebody else is dropping off as well. Christian Strada is another one that's just gone straight off here as well. We're going to be up and running green flag very, very shortly. Andrew Williams is the man on pole. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. The Brickyard 75 is green. Williams got the jump straight at the start with Holtman looking on the inside. Andrew Jamelin, unfortunately, pushed out there. Norberg is coming out of the pit lane, but is already registering as a lap down there. Andrew Burrell gets a little bit loose and ends up having to take to the infield section almost of this race circuit, as he's now going to end up at the back of the grid with Christian Strada is gone. So I'll be interested to find out what happened to him.
Yeah, curious as to what Strada was in a good spot, and yeah, poor Jamalin, he kind of got himself pinned with Williams being able to get completely ahead of him, slow him down, and allow Clint Halterman to kind of move up, and then allowed Williams to kind of get back down on that racing line. And unfortunately, Jamal just kind of got left in the dust a little bit as they try and break the toe coming down. Whoa, that started. Sorry, I don't know if you saw it on your screen, but all of a sudden there was animated people just in my face. Yeah, okay, they did pop up on the YouTube. That caught me very off guard. But yeah, he was able to kind of do that as they made their way down the streets, and unfortunately for Jamal, he kind of got left alone.
He did there as well. Witt and Stockner running side by side. They've been side by side for practically a lap at the moment, and they're still going to carry on this fight and see how they get on going into 3. And then they've got that run, a short run down into turn 4 again, still side by side. They're leaning on each other here as well. Little bit of rubbing his racing taking place here on lap 2 between Alex Witt and Stockner. Witt does manage to get out in front of him after that. Bradley Young in there as well. Oh, there's going to be a first caution. Is it in the Josh Keefe in the wall on the outside of turn 4? Manages to keep it going. No caution at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic way to save that and keep himself from causing more incidents. And I think, yeah, we have established that very rarely will a yellow come out for a single vehicle unless they're right smack dab on the racing line. But he was able to keep it out of the way of everybody else, and they were allowed to continue going.
Yeah, and that's how close Stockner is to the back end of the Krispy Kremes of Alex Witt. 594 Ford here. Stockner looking up the inside currently at the moment. He's going to be very, very close on the exit. You can see now right beside Alex Witt. Has he bullied his way through there, Kenton, or do you think Alex Witt's going to be able to get the run on him?
I think Witt should be able to get the run. He does have that spacing, but it'll kind of come down to, as odd as it is, the draft will be a little bit of help, but it's not going to be the end all be all for most of them. And he's getting a little bit from behind, but not too much. And I think Witt just needs to kind of get that little bit of a, hey, you're clear. And then, yeah, there we go. Right back to single file. And Stockner is going to have to look to try and make a move at some other point.
We're starting to get groups spread out here as well. Brandon McClellan is the last of the Alex Witt, Stockner, Carlson, Jakowitz group. And then we've got 1.4 seconds up the road. That's Whitlock, Ross. And then we've got another 2 seconds to Bradley Young, who's got Brusso, Norberg, Kimmel, Sizemore, Burrell, and Kuhn behind him there. So Joshua Keefe and Tom Kuhn right at the back end of the field. So we'll keep an eye and see how these guys get on here as well. Very single file at the moment here on the at the Brickyard itself. And is that sort of something we're expected to see a lot of?
I think so. Yeah, it's a weird track because based on the distance, you would automatically assume, much like Daytona and Talladega, it's all going to be draft heavy. But just the way it's designed, it's not as much. And smaller groups kind of allow you to run a little smoother. You have less issues. I mean, obviously, Williams running in the smallest group, he physically can, as he is almost, well, just over a second and a half ahead. But getting the tucked up behind Christian Strouder, who is 3 laps down, so he's getting a little bit of a draft through that, which is why you'll see those cars weaving, trying to break that draft as best they can. But getting into these kind of smaller groups, I mean, it's going to be beneficial, especially when it comes to trying to pit. We've talked about this a few times, that if you can go in smaller groups, you're a little safer there. But I think it's just going to come down to making that the Michigan car behind of Armin Brusso almost goes a little squirrely coming out of, I believe that was turn 1, sorry, going into turn 2. Yeah. Maps like in my head is backwards, but it's not. I just like looked at it, I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, little single files will be what you'll mostly see unless someone's really trying to make a pass, just because you're wanting to use as much of the draft as you can, but it's not as much of an impact of a draft as you'd get at like Daytona and Talladega.
So we're saying where we are now, the draft is not going to be, well, you can see it's visually not overly heavy, is it? Let's be real about it. You know, not massive, keeping him with Brad Young there. Brad sitting in 13th for the moment, up 3 places from where he started from. Gets a little bit squirrely. Is he going to go? Yay. Through we go. Armand Brusso there, just missing Brad Young.
Yeah, there's a little spicy, a little case of the scaries right there, but the draft's definitely going to have a benefit, but because you don't need to run, like, you're not seeing what we would typically see where you have either 1 or 2 lines full, everyone as close as you physically can, because if you're not, you're getting spit out the backside. The draft will have a little bit of a play, but it's not going to be nearly as drastic of an impact as you would see. Like right now, you just saw we saw Jackowitz go right past Stockner, even though Stockner was ahead and was directly behind Alex Witt, ahead of them, and Jackowitz was still able to get past him without any draft. So it has an effect, but it's not a massive effect. It's not going to be nearly as game changing to lose the draft as it would be at what we typically associate with a 2.5 mile track.
Yeah. Are we saying we can't run this circuit full flat?
It's a little tricky. I would say maybe your first couple laps of the tires being warm. So not right away, because when they're cold, you're not going to get it as nearly as much grip, and you're going to give a little bit of a lift. It's not a massive lift, but coming into the corner, there'll be a little bit of a lift just to kind of, right there, you can hear it. And then you get back on the throttle about a quarter, maybe 2/3 of the way into the corner. You're not quite... it's not a heavy lift, but just enough to kind of slow the car down to kind of help make the turn without obviously going all the way out to the wall. So that'll be kind of the biggest thing. But that little bit of a lift will create that lack of need for the draft going through a lot of sections.
Are we brake and lifting, or are we just lifting, do you think?
Unless your tires are completely dead, I don't think you need to brake. If they're completely shot, yes, you will. Just to kind of help use the trail braking aspect, that little extra bit, just to help make the car turn. But 90% of the laps we're going to run here, you're not going to even touch the brake. Obviously, outside of someone spinning in front of you or having to avoid in that kind of idea. For the most part, it's just going to be not even worry about it.
Nick Stockler gets a little bit of a slide coming out of turn 2 there. Unfortunately, he went down and then came back up, and Hunter Carlson has made his way through. Stockler's now got Ryan Whitlock right behind him. Don't forget, it was for Pocono, I believe. Ryan had the one race suspension, and it's come back here this evening in that Rusty livery, that, well, generally 95, but it's actually 96 here as well. So Whitlock back on track. Norberg is out on in 11th place currently. He is down 4, but obviously he did start from the pit lane, so technically he's up 1. Mr. Terry Spainhour Senior, sir, welcome into YouTube chat. Thank you so much for joining us here as well. Trenton Kimmel battling away with Andrew Burrell further down the order, with Armand Brusso in the mix as well. And I think, Kenton, overall you can see we've got this development of pockets here, haven't we? We've got Strada, who's running 3 laps down from the leader, and the leader's yet to go past him. Is that something that we think we might see is going to be difficult to overtake back markers? Because clearly Andrew Williams is either sat in behind him using Strada, or he just can't get past him as he hasn't got the pace.
I mean, if I'm Williams, I would sit behind him. Your other option is having to brake for the win the whole time, using that little extra fuel. Being right behind Christian Strada, Christian's going to be doing all the, kind of drafting for him in a lot of ways. He's, breaking the wind, helping Andrew Williams save fuel. And if he's able to utilize him to kind of get a little bit of that draft, and I mean, obviously the draft isn't massive, but it is helpful to some degree, just to get even a little bit. Why not stay behind him? There's, you've got 2 seconds between you and second place right now, and rowing steadily, nothing crazy, but I mean, now it's, we're already looking, it was at 220 for a little bit there. So I'd use Christian Strader until you feel like it's too slow and then make a move if you have to. But for now, I see zero reason for him to really try and push to get by. A, help save tires, and B, help save fuel.
Yeah, I think so. We have seen the first of the pit stops there as well. I think Brandon McLaughlin is coming out of the pit lane a little bit earlier than I would have thought on lap 12 for McLaughlin. Joshua Keefe is further down. He is 1 lap down at this moment in time. Strada's 2 laps down. We've also got Tom Kuhn in the pits. So we've got Hunter Carlson in front of Stockner, and Stockner's tucked up right behind him at a moment as well. A little bit early for the pit stops, do we not think?
Yeah, I'm a little curious onto why that's happening. I have a feeling that Tom and this was Tom that came in. I know Keith came in, but he was involved with that collision with the wall. I'm just guessing maybe there was a little bit of a bumps off the wall causing some problems, and that's why McLaughlin and Kuhn both came in. I could be wrong, but that would be the only reason I'd really see coming in at this point in the race. I don't know if they would quite make it to 30 laps without needing to fuel up again, but I think it would be a lot closer to 30 than 12.
Yeah, they do have 55% fuel, right?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think, like, that would get you, I want to say it'd be like at least 20 to 25 laps, but 15, 12, that seems really short unless there was an accident or, hitting a wall and just dinging the wheels so that you're trying to drive awkwardly sideways. Uh-oh.
Oh.
That's a problem.
Oh, that's an issue. That's
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh God. Did you know what? It's the Spain Hour Senior, sir. I look forward to seeing you on track. There you go. How about that one? I don't really know what else to say to that comment in YouTube currently either. It's something that we've been waiting, how long we've been here? 18 months, 2 years? Near enough, is it? It's a long time, right?
Is it?
I don't know.
Because we did
We've done 1 season of
This is our
this.
third?
We've done 4th season. 4th.
because we're almost done this season. We're on 11 of, what is it? We have 4 races
12.
left after this one.
10 of
Yeah.
12. So that would be one.
So we're almost
did the
done
last
second season.
Did the season
Yeah, we did
before,
2 seasons before that.
So that's technically a year.
Yeah, we're getting. Yeah, we're about almost 2 years now.
Yeah. So we've been waiting that long, and you've been saying it as well. I'm interested to know, though, are you going to be taking over Brad Terry's iRacing then? So when we see TJ, it's actually you. Stottner's looking at going up the inside of turn 3. Currently over Hunter Carlson. Carlson's running that outside line in that 32 Camry. Is he going to be able to make it through Stottner? He does. He goes underneath him now as well. Stottner's on his way. Lap 17 of 75. Carlson's in the pits as well. Brandon McLaughlin's out here on the other side. Kemmel's been in. Kuhn's been in. Keith's been in. We know Strada's already laps down. Carlson's coming in as well. Is this more of the area that we're expecting? We're not seeing the top runners as of yet. Williams, Holtman, Collicott, Jamin, Witt or Jackowitz, but the people towards the middle of Hunter Carlson, Bradley Young's also in as well. He's in the pit lane. All coming in already.
I would have guessed closer to 20, somewhere between 20 and 25 would have been my guess. But again, that's why we're up here, not driving. So maybe I'm just wrong.
Do we think?
Which is possible, very much so.
Oh, God blimey, yeah. Let's be real about it. We're not robots, right? None of us are absolutely perfect. I'm not AI by any form of the imagination. So I will be wrong, and I have been wrong multiple times, which normally results in me being slapped on the wrist or something. But you never know. Tyre wear, do we think, could be the problem?
Maybe, but I mean, with especially these guys, I would be more surprised to see them going in just because of tire wear here. Like a lot of these guys, they know how to drive with the tire wear. I don't think that would be too much of a problem for them. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I know nothing.
Maybe they're just trying something different. Maybe let's see if they go in before stage, they will be okay. But that's going to put them all out of sync, isn't it, with everybody else as well? It'll be a while before I'm ready. Why? If you've got a rig, you must have a wheel. And if you've got the wheel and the rig, which has got your pedals on it, all you need is your iRacing account, right? And clearly, TJ's not using his at the moment. So, you know, just putting it out there. Not that I'm promoting sharing accounts at all. And that's not something that is allowed within iRacing, and I never share my account at all with anyone either.
Not a thing.
No, never at all. My 13-year-old son. Anyway, Hunter Carlson battling away with Brandon McLaughlin. Both of these have been in the pits. I am wondering what sort of strategy thinking is going on right about now, and I'll be interested to see if I can get one of the boys that are pitted in on stage. I might bring in Mr. Trenton Kimmel, who's just above us in the channel there, to see why he went in and what the situation or the thinking was. Ryan Whitlock's got Stockner and Norberg. This is the free. I believe Whitlock's part of the Orange Wheel Racing as well, if I'm not mistaken. The free OWR boys racing out together there. So great job from all of them. And then you got the Mustang behind, I believe it is. That is not Calvin Ross. That must be a back marker in there somewhere. It's not Josh Keefe. Who is that behind there as well? Who is that actually?
Which one?
This one here.
Hein Nordberg? Is that
16?
Kimmel?
Kimmel. There's Trenton Kimmel behind that as well. Obviously, Trenton's
got that new livery on it.
Yeah, he's got the new livery. I was just wondering why the Mustang all of a sudden looked very mean. And I wasn't aware of any graphical updates on the Mustang. It might have just been the livery that made it look a little bit meaner than it is. But 9 away from stage at the moment. Collicott's now in. Jamelin's in as well. You've got Stop the Cup. I am surprised. I think this is what I don't get. Stockner's part of a team, and yet the other two stayed out and left him there on his Todd. I don't get that. Do you know what I mean? I would have thought they would have ran together. Calvin Ross is now coming in as well. Why are they not running together? I don't get it. Why did Whitlock and Norberg not come in and Burrell come in with Stockner and aid each other in that area of the draft? Or, you know, don't get me wrong, we said it's not as hard as Dega, it's not as hard as, you know, some of the other Pat racing, but Solo's going to kill him, isn't it?
It's definitely going to make it harder, for sure. I'd be very curious what sort of the game plan is. Maybe he's trying to come in and hoping to kind of create an undercut.
Top 6
as he had Nordberg and Whitlock come in here. But maybe he's hoping to try and kind of make an overcut, or an undercut and kind of get away with it. But I guess we'll kind of have to find out, because, yeah, it's a very interesting...
I don't get that. I know they race like full on solo as such. I would have thought they would have come all of them in together. Anyway, the leaders are in and out. Andrew Williams is out. Clinton Holtman's out. Alex Witt's moving now as well. Noel Jakowitz is moving. You see the BCR coming together. Matthew Norberg's coming out. Ryan Whitlock's out. Andrew Burrell's out. Where is Mr. Stockner? He's still up behind the back end of Hunter Carlson. One lap would have put him up with the boys Norberg, Whitlock sitting in 7th and 8th, and this is what I don't get. I know, as I said, they race solo a lot of the time, and they, you know, don't race in that way. But I just thought you would have used each other. I know Whitlock's coming up quite close to Stockner, but one lap for Stockner, and he could have been right out with the others. You've got to get the credentials. Am I missing something here? Do we need a driving license for sim racing? What are you
I think
talking
he
about?
means the game.
Oh, just download it. It's free. Go on the website.
I pay for the subscription still.
And give you a code. You get 10% off if you want. You know what I mean? Just saying. Putting it out there.
Hooking them up.
Yeah, why not? You know, and your discount.
You didn't hook me up with it. We got you guys.
you didn't ask. You went and
I didn't know.
Did you? And that was it. That wasn't my fault. 7 away from stage now on lap 23 of 75. We've still got OWR out in front with Williams and Holtman. Collie got in second, Witt in third. Chamberlain, Jackwood, Norberg, Whitlock, McLaughlin and Stockner rounding out the top 10. Stockner is only one back here with Brown and McLaughlin in the middle of this. We've got Calvin Ross running around with Andrew Burrell, Trenton Kimmel running around with Mr. Brusso, and unfortunately the likes of Brad Young, Josh Keefe, Tom Kuhn and Mr. Rob Sizemore, who is in 19th place at the moment with a leader right up behind him. There's Strada still trying to get his laps back. Pitted. Oh, no, Sizemore in the wall. Ooh.
Was that self-inflicted?
Can't answer that because do you know why I can't answer that? Because I don't know. Yes.
Yep.
Loose all
Yeah,
day.
Just
Straight in the wall.
unfortunate for him.
On that one, but Collicott's there running side by side with Alex Witt round the exit of 4. Witt on the inside in that 5-9-4 Ford takes that position away from Devon Collicott there. Andrew Jamelin is here as well. Is Hannah Carlson out on the racetrack? He is. So
He's in 11th.
Yeah, he did make it back because he wasn't in. That was actually yesterday. He wasn't going to make there either, but he seems to go out on the racetrack. What do you mean, thanks? I'm just saying, what do you need? You go and download it, you know, hit me up, DM me on Discord. I'll check out your discount first before I give you my little code to get you 10% off, and then, you know, everything's gravy. But I need to get up to speed on the new cars. Might stick to modifieds for a while. Get out. Get on here on a Tuesday night. Get your cup card done. Go and borrow TJ's thing, count and do it that way, because he's got everything you already need, rather than you fighting up through the rookies again. Blimey, you'd be here all day. Not because of your bad driving, just purely because of how bad the rookies are.
Oh, yeah.
What that was
Glad
like.
I'm not doing that anymore.
No.
Although I do enjoy my Formula V at Lime Rock Park. I will drive that one for fun.
Yeah, I just see that as license losing. It's been painful enough.
I usually get wins there.
Really?
Mainly because Lime Rock Park, like, yeah, oh yeah, that was where I got my first ever road win. I think all of my wins except for one are all at Lime Rock Park in the Formula Vs.
Oh, Jesus.
And the other one win was the 12-hour of Sebring.
Nice. Yeah, but that's a good win.
That one was not me. Let's put it that way. I was on a team for that with, at the time, I think my I rating was like 574 or something like that. It was ugly. Yeah, it was brutal. I sped run trying to get up to the.
Oh, Brad!
Oh,
he's done it himself. That was very close.
Yeah. And I tried to do a speed run to get up to the IMSA circuit before they moved it to A, so that I could practice for Sebring. So I went in and I just didn't care about I rating at all. And I was like, I'll worry about it later. So we went into Sebring, and my two teammates were both over 1,000. One was almost at 2,000, and then there's me at 500. So we got in a tougher split for me, but their 2,000 I rating guy just straight up ran through everybody, and we were in the LMP2. So we did get a win.
Nice. So you tanked your account. Oh, Armand Brusso. What is going on?
A little door slap there.
Yeah, Brad's trying to go through the middle. He's had enough. He's giving Armand some as well. But Brusso giving poor Trenton Kimmel, a bit of a slap on the wheel arch there. These guys now going too wide round turn 4. Brusso's almost round. Kimmel was had enough there. That was almost, you come at me, sir, you're going to get your butt spun. And Kimmel almost making contact with Brusso there. We'll keep an eye on these guys as they're fighting over the start-finish line now. And you can see Brusso still sat in the middle of the pack. Kimmel right behind him, Young in front of him as well. So let's see how these guys carry on. Going to do my own account. TJ is too respected to mess with his account. Well, you're not messing with it, aren't you? Just come in a race on a Tuesday. Just putting it out there. You know what
I mean, yeah.
Well,
Or TJ could start coming back out.
That would be nice. I did speak to TJ the other day, actually, to find out what he was up to. And he just said he's not been doing it as much because it hasn't been that fun. He still races every so often, but he's just not finding it fun. However, I did recently switch to VR, and I must be honest, that is a different world altogether. Racing in VR, but it is going to be Andrew Williams is going to take stage here. Stage 1 winner will be Mr. Williams. 10 points on the board before he's even gone anywhere. There you go. Yellow flag. Stage points for Williams. Holterman, Witt, Collicott behind that. Then Jamelin, Jakowitz, Norberg, Whitlock, Stotner, and Brandon McLaughlin. So great job from them guys. I do want to get 2 interviews in if I really can. Oh, where's OWR now? Oh.
Then not in with us again?
No. All right, well, can't have a chat with them. Let's see where he is. First off, let's check first before I pull somebody in and scare the living doo-doos out of him. But let's have a quick chat, if we can, with Mr. Trenton Kimmel sitting down in 16th at the moment. Trenton, have you got me?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm very well, dude. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Trying to work my way around the Indianapolis Oval.
Okay, tell me, what's with the early pit stop on lap 15, mate? What's the situation? What the thinking is there?
Well, I mean, I knew I wasn't going to be competitive for the lead or anything, so I just figured go ahead, pit now, get fuel, make it to the stage, see where I end up.
What's your fuel situation right about now then? Because you pitted back on 15.
I'm at about 6 laps remaining, so I'm going to go in under here. I didn't get tires. I'm going to get my tires now, get some fuel, and hopefully everybody will be about on the same strategy at that point.
Right, okay, so it should balance itself out then after that. Get that car down to speed, because I don't want to be responsible for you getting a pit lane speeding penalty.
You're all right, man. There's plenty of traffic.
Cool. Everybody's gone into the pits there as well, and Trenton's gone in. How high do you reckon you'll get, Trenton? Let's be real about it. How far do you reckon you're going to
go? I'm sorry, what?
How high do you think you'll get up in the standings? What's the aim for this race?
I mean, as always, I'm just hoping to finish on the lead lap and finish higher than what I started. So I started 17th. I'm hoping for a top 15. I don't think I'll be able to get top 10 just quite yet. This track is still pretty new to me. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, bud. Well, good luck there, buddy. Let's see how much higher you can get up. If you stay where you are, can you get out any quicker than that? Get out in front of Norberg. You can. You're currently in 13th, buddy.
All right. Hey, that's pretty good.
Not bad. Jumped a couple of positions on pit road. Trenton, thanks so much for talking to me, man. And we're looking at catching up with you soon.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good one, man. Enjoy the race.
Will do. All right, so he pitted lap on 15. He got fuel and he got 6 laps left, right? So this fuel take ain't lasted as long as what we think here.
Yeah, well, it's still about 20 laps, so we're probably going to see you guys trying to fuel save pretty heavy. In reality, you're going to want to stretch out this stint here. And this is under the assumption we go as green as we can. Because if you want to be able to extend this stint for as much as possible.
But they're only going to get to 50.
Actually, no, they wouldn't. Well, yeah, sorry. So we were going to 50 because we did 20-ish, 22 to 23 laps. If you're able to hold on for maybe 1 or 2 laps, you might be able to push that last one for about that much time, or you take a short second stint with the intention of knowing your third stint's also going to have to, like, is going to be a full stint, and just kind of try and take the short pit stop or the early pit stop now and extend your third stint. So you kind of have 2 different ways you can go about it, because no matter what, I think they're going to be 2 more pit stops, unless you're absolutely like gonna massive fuel save, but I still think you need a second one. Because yeah, so 20, and then you'd still have one at 70 ish, 72, 73, which is really going to put you at the back foot if that's when you decide to come in. So I think for the most part, you're going to want to almost get, oh man, you actually might, I'm trying to even do math here, it's way too much effort. There might almost be 3 stops depending on when we get going here, unless you're able to really extend one.
If they're going to get
23 laps,
if they reckon they can get 20, right? Because he pitted on 15, I'm going to presume he would have been 5 laps after. He would have sat with 5 in the bank. He fueled up, pitted again when the stage at 30, left him 6 laps in the tank. So he had 21 laps of fuel. So 21 laps of fuel right about now is 53. 21 after that is 74. So they are either going to fuel save to try and eliminate that next pit stop, or they're going to... Because if we go GWC as well, there's going to be a lot of people rushing in that pit lane.
Yes. Yeah, I think in all reality, if, and not expecting a yellow flag or not dealing with another caution, I think it's going to be if you're able to fuel save 2 laps basically worth of fuel and be able to push this stint to 23 or 22 even, you'll be okay. It'll be tricky.
Ladies and gentlemen, into the Geico restart zone is green. Andrew Williams, Clint Holtman leading away with Alex Witt. Noel Jackowitz tucked in behind, Collicott behind that as well. If we're going to have a caution, this is probably going to be where it is, right at the beginning of the race when all the cars are bunched up before they start getting spread out. There's twitchy people there as well. Alex Witt spun. No, that's Clint Holtman. That is Holtman in the wall. Is there going to be a yellow? Is there going to be a caution? Is his car even going straight? It is currently at this moment in time, but for how much longer? That's going to be the question as well. Poor old Clint Holtman there, him and Alex Witt. Little bit of a ta-ta-ta.
Yeah, I didn't see who it was that came up or moved down, but it was very, very unfortunate for Clint Holtman. That's going to put a damper on the rest of this race for him.
I think the thing is, after the restart, you can see Witt goes up quite high. Clint Holtman's running around the outside of turn 1. No real issues coming off at the moment here. They make contact there. Then there's I can't work out if that is contact or if there was a massive dose of the old internet in the middle.
That looks like netcode, the second hit. The first one where Alex kind of came up a little bit, gives him a shove, but then gets off, and then it looks like Holtman kind of comes down, but they don't make contact, and there's that netcode just spins him, because by the time he actually is into Alex, he's like in the middle of his car, which wouldn't have been able to happen based on where Alex was if it wasn't netcode.
I do fully agree there as well. When I do, you will see the Kelly Services car again there. I'd be interested to see how long it takes you to get up to a license enough to have a cup car as well, just to put it out there.
I mean, he technically can still drive the cup car in leagues with a rookie license. He doesn't actually need one.
No, I know. I'm just
a special license.
I'm just saying he's going to be working his way through, right? The modifieds and everything else. I'd be interested to see how long it takes for him to get up to like a relative A license or D that we have got of Young and Kuhn in this league as well, to see how long it would be perceived that it's going to take him.
Fair enough. I'm trying to remember how long actually. Oval was, I think, my shortest one.
Yeah. Do you know my shortest one has been my dirt road? That really had nothing in conjunction.
I haven't touched any of my dirt racing.
Nothing in conjunction of my ability, should we say. Let's just say my sibling of some sorts was an absolute beast on dirt road circuits. So yeah, he had fun. And
That's good.
yeah, no, he enjoyed himself. So there you go on that one. 36-75 now. We've got our OWR of Williams with Alex Witt of BCR, the Breakfast Club Racing over Orange Wheel Racing, and Devon Collicott in the middle in that Jim Beam liveried machine with Jackowitz behind. Do you know we ain't got no Seth Pegg? Where's Seth Pegg this evening?
I think he said he was gonna be gone. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he did.
Let me.
He was talking to me and said it. Maybe he's embarrassed because my AFL team beat his AFL team quite handily.
I don't.
He didn't want me to bring it up too much.
Is that really the case, do you think?
I mean, it was bad. Like, we're talking 71-39. It's not a good score. So, maybe? I don't know.
Well, we'll keep an eye on this one as Jackowitz and Collicott pushing into free at the moment. You see Witt and Williams above that one. And then you've got Jamelin and Stockner behind there with Brandon McLaughlin, Ryan Whitlock and Matthew Norberg all tucked in. Hunter Carlson has got the man who we've spoken to on stage, Mr. Trenton Kimmel, behind him as well. Calvin Ross has got Armand Brusso for company with Andrew Burrell behind that one. Brad Young is down in 16th, trying to catch up to Clint Holtman, who we saw ended up in the wall after an incident there with Mr. Alex Witt. But Witt is opening up that gap to Noel Jackowitz of about 1 second. He's got 4 tenths currently over Williams in front of it as they head down this back stretch now. These guys doing a fantastic job racing each other, but Jackowitz has got Collicott, Jamelin and Stockner for company.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting seeing some of these pockets because they're not all of them are typical that we would see. Like for instance, the Jamalin and Collicott with Jackowitz and that's Collicott there. And Stockner, like we see Jackowitz and Stockner around each other all the time, but Jamalin's right up there in P5, and then you got Sizemore, Strader, and Keith all one lap down. They're kind of floating around, and Nordberg, McLaughlin, and Carlson, and it's a very interesting kind of groups that we've got going on here.
Let's keep an eye and see how this all pans out here this evening. Lap 35 to go at the Brickyard itself for the Indianapolis 75 here on the JPB YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells, do all that other fancy jazz. We've got Armand Brusso running side by side at the moment here. That's Kimmel now outside. Brusso's trying to get hold of one Mr. Calvin Ross. This could be an interesting one here with the admins doing their thing, racing each other here. And Brusso in that Michigan liveried machine still.
Yeah.
Look.
So anyways, every other college out there.
Choices.
No, NCAA football for EA Sports dropped. I think it was technically last night, but the first real day of the early access was today. And I know it's been very popular so far. It's been very well received. Apparently they did a good job. So a lot of people are really happy and have been playing it. So I'm assuming that might have something to do with the Michigan and a couple of guys going back to the Clemson liveries as well in Orange Wheel Racing. So at least that's my guess.
Is that the NCAA NFL game, is it?
Yeah, NCAA football, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. All the college football.
Oh.
Oof.
That was a little bit sketchy with Hunter Carlson there. As you can see, Armin Brusso going alongside Mr. Calvin Ross. Got the job done, I think, as well, did Armin there. So great job from him in that Michigan liveried machine. Hunter Carlson there, so Calvin Ross clearly had a slide as he's side by side with Carlson. There's Carlson on our inside, job done. And it looks like Calvin Ross is going to be able to take his line without any major dramas there, which he did do. Back up front, Andrew Williams has got Mr. Witt tucked up right behind him, and Witt is not letting Williams away here. He's following him across the race circuit, utilising that draft that I suppose they do get of some shape or form here as they're racing away with each other. Still great battles to go. 33 on the clock. Kenton left. When's the next pit stop, man?
I'd say probably, well, I mean, closer to 50. If they're trying to save any fuel, you're going to be wanting to try and push it to as close to 55 as you can. So I'd say probably in about 10, 11 laps is when we'll see everyone start really looking to start moving in. Unless you really have a strong belief you can extend that third stint. But I think for sure we'll be seeing it around 52, 53 sort of spot. But anyone who's trying to save some, maybe 54, and kind of hoping they don't have to push as long for the next one. And then the massive prayers going out so they can avoid the green-white checkered.
Yeah. I think you might be right here. This is going to be a little bit of a fuel game, I think, with these guys.
I think so too. I think it's going to be a pretty mentally strong dive down for. Like, it's all going to come down to who can really game it the best, and who's able to save tires, and who's going to be able to kind of keep their fuel as high as they can and sort of push those extra couple laps, because that's going to be sort of everything.
I can't see anybody really utilizing any form of lift and coasting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's only a minor amount of fuel saving. I mean, yes, when Trenton Kimmel came in, he only had 6 laps left, but we also don't know if he maybe took a little bit less because he was only aiming for lap 30, so he might have pulled back on a couple. And I mean, I know a lot of guys were coming in at lap 22, 23, so it might be able to get in for that kind of length. So it might be a case of you might not even have to massively fuel save. It's, maybe a lap between the next 2 stints is all you need to save. So we'll kind of see how the whole thing works out.
Yes, Terry, I am saying that as soon as you get an account, you can race with these guys. You just need to buy the car, buy the track, or whatever tracks you need for the season. But yes, you can race straight away. Don't need to build your license up. You can utilize that as a little bit of a side project if you really want to have an A license and make yourself look fancy. But all the license does is it stops you racing in higher official races. So you can't do a Cup Series race in an official because you won't have the license to do it, but you are able to do a Cup Series League race as long as the likes of Armin Brusso are willing to let you in under a rookie license and you prove not to be a complete and utter wreckfest machine where you go and torpedo everybody off the side of the circuit. Just saying, that's basically how it works.
Exactly. Yeah, as long as you've got it, you're good to go.
Yeah, as long as you're not stupid. That's basically the terminology.
Yes. Yeah. I think I'm B license in oval right now, so I can't even race Cup car officials. Oh, Strada's in the pits though.
Yeah, Strada's been in the pits in and out basically for a while. Just to let you know, I'm higher than Kenton. I am an A license. Not bad for an Englishman.
Hey.
Hey.
I am A in Formula and Sport Car.
Oh, Holterman pushing. Holterman had to push. He had nowhere to go around him. and unfortunately, Holtman was pushing that. And Trenton Kimmel was on the receiving end of that big old push coming off turn 2. He literally had nowhere to go there as well. In all honesty, I don't know what I am in formulas, and what am I? A in oval, B in sports, C in formulas, D in dirt oval, and I'm a B in dirt road. So there we go.
Yeah, and I haven't even thought of touching oval or dirt anything. I think I've done 2 dirt races, air quotes around those. One was the All-Star race we did here.
Oh, that was funny.
These guys at Bristol, I think it was.
Yeah, Bristol dirt.
Bristol dirt.
That was funny.
And then during the off season between like the end of last year, like actual end of last year, that last season we did before they started the spring season here, I joined them for I guess a dirt road race I had the Subaru, I think it was. Around, I think it was Daytona dirt, maybe the Charlotte dirt, I don't remember, one of those two. And we did that for fun, kind of in the off season, and those are the only 2 times I've raced anything dirt.
They just don't get enough love. That's the problem. They're so outdated. It's like TCRs. They're so outdated that people don't race them. You know what I mean? They're not up to date. They're not the cars that are out on track now, and it just doesn't get love. And that's the problem when you're still running around in a Fiesta, a Beat, or the Subaru, which probably, if you look now at the modern day dirt road cars, are probably not even in that scenario anymore. You know, you've probably got a Hyundai and a Suzuki Swift and whatever else. There's just no love for that particular official series, which causes all the problems. It's easier, isn't it? You know, we can have 15 GT3s, but we get stuck with 4 TCRs that are outdated by 4 years. You know what I mean? Come on. What?
I forgot about your. We'll go with love for GT3s.
The thing is, right, I bought the Corvette the other day, and don't get me wrong, Corvette is an awesome car. It is very, very impressive, and I did love driving it, and I do love driving it, but, you know, so many other series could do with a lot of love, and I just wanted to see, sorry, I was keeping an eye on what Jakowitz was doing then, as he's tucked up here. This is the front 6, all back together, before we got 1.8 back to Whitlock and Norberg. You can see they're all weaving across the track, utilising the draft there. Great racing from these guys. I don't plan on being stupid. I plan on winning. Yes, they are fixed, Mr. Spainhour Senior. So you haven't got to do anything. You just hop in them, get on the track, and drive away. And unless there's a setup change, which there was from Pocono, then you obviously use the setup that gets given to you. But generally, you can just hop in the car and crack on, which I find most wonderful. But I think that, as I said, going back to what we were talking about earlier on, I think at the end of the day, there's just a lot of series that need some love, and stop bringing out more GT3s and replacing the ones that you only brought out 4 seasons ago when you got outdated TCRs by 4 years. Dirt road that's probably not even road anymore. And, you know, we could do us a new bought and dealt with a truck situation in NASCAR. Well, how about we deal with the Cups and the Xfinities? That would be great as well. You know, come on, let's be real about it. There's a lot of other series that could do with some love, and not just bringing out random tracks that nobody's heard of from the middle of Norway that nobody really cares about. You know, come on, sort the cars out that get the most love, and you might get the cars back in the series running numbers again. Just saying.
In case you were wondering.
I'm not joking though. I'm not, you know, I'm not chatting rubbish for no reason, am I?
No, I definitely think there are some cars that, I mean, that definitely need some love in a lot of ways. And, I mean, yeah, I understand. I mean, to be fair, the only car they brought in that's brand new for GT3 was the Corvette. The Mustang was replacing the old Ford that they had. What was it? I don't even remember what it was. But in that case, it was a straight-up replacement. They did. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, they replaced that with the new Mustang, and I mean, that fair enough. And they did bring what they call it now, like the Eagle and Casino or Panther or something like that, for the stock cars. Yeah, they brought 2 stock cars in, street stock.
Oh.
So the rookie level ones, or I think maybe even D class. I think there's that the street stocks are still there. So they brought 2 new ones of that.
I know they brought the SRX, didn't they, as well? The one with the
SRX did come in.
The big wing on the situation that, you know, that looks like blinking Dynaco machine out of Disney cars. But when you're looking at this is the thing, right? I'm looking at the World Rally Championship website. Car, PWR RX1, Volkswagen RX1, PWR RX1, Volkswagen Peugeot 208, RX1, Seat Ibiza, RX1, Peugeot 208 WRX, and then you go down to the RX2 series, you know, sorry, the Euro series, Seat Ibiza, Audi S1, VW Polo, Ford Fiesta, there you go, there's one that you can keep in, the Audi A1, the Proton Iris, you know, all of these cars that are in this WRX series, and it just doesn't get love, and this is the thing. McLaughlin, Brusso, Kimmel and Kuhn into the pits, as I believe Collicott has just dropped off as well, round about where we're at as well. 23 to go out of 75 puts us on 52. Witt comes down the pit lane. Collicott was already in that pit lane run before Witt dropped in front of him. German and Jakowitz also in there once again. So this pit lane run now, 22. So they pitted on 30. We're now on 53, 23 laps on the clock. And I still think there's going to be more rushing in as well.
Yeah, I was pretty close. I said 53 or 50, between 50 and 55, and I was smack dab. I'm pretty stoked.
I thought you got lost for a minute there as well.
I cut you out for a second for me, and I was like, and then it kicked in. And I was like,
oh, okay. That's all I need to know. I'm in.
Yeah, no, definitely will still be a rush in.
I think there's going to be a rush of the top 5. Williams has gone in now. This is where the OWR really need to get this nailed in. Stottner's in. Norberg's in. Come on. The big puff of smoke out the back of Norberg. Holtman didn't go in with them either. Williams is in, Stottner's in, Norberg's in. So did Holtman miss a trick there? That's put Ryan Whitlock out on pole, but again, he's not pitted. Holtman's pitted, not pitted. Carlson, Burrell also not pitted. So really, technically, depends how far up Alex Witt can go, whether or not he can jump Williams, Stottner and Norberg here as well. It's on like Donkey Kong, just asking to let me in when it's time. Well, you know, join the Discord, sir. You know what I mean? My secretarial days went out the window about 10 years ago. Come on, Mr. Spino Senior, sir. I do love you and all, but call blimey. As Witts makes his way out now. Where is Williams? Williams is still going around that infield section. Witt's going to be running at full pace here. Williams is on the infield coming out of turn 4. Witt is closing. He's closing. He's not going to get him, I don't think. I don't think he's close enough coming out of the pits. Witt's going to be tucked up again. He's going to be at full speed. Williams is not at full speed. They go marching side by side down into turn 3. Witt's going to cut his nose off. Oh my God, Andrew Williams needs a no job. Call to Kim Kardashian. Williams needs your plastic surgeon.
Oh God.
What?
Fantastic.
It's not like I'm lying, is it? Let's be real.
No. She's, you know what I mean? She's more plastic than an actual Barbie doll, but
exactly.
I'm amazed she's allowed into bars because I'm pretty sure half of her isn't 18.
Exactly.
Or is it 21? 21 in the US, right? It's 18 here.
Mate, I really don't know. She'll just, you know, all I know is she gets too close to a fire and she melts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's be real about it. Anyway, now enough of poor old Kim. I'm sure she's a lovely lady as well.
Back onto what we were talking about earlier, though. We did have the conversation about the dirt road cars and the Volkswagen Beetle. But tying it in with NASCAR, did you know Volkswagen Beetle actually has driven in NASCAR.
Now, we've had this conversation before, haven't we, as Williams retakes the lead away from Witt there, going out of turn 4. Yes, it did, but I can't remember when.
1955. It entered 2 stock car races and came in 6th and 8th.
Yes, I remember us talking about it.
What's terrifying is at that time, yeah, it was racing against 200 plus horsepower American stock cars while running a 36 horsepower Volkswagen engine and still finished.
Well, fair play to Herbie. That's all I got to say on that one.
No kidding, hey?
Yeah, Herbie.
Of the 10 short track races, of 25 short track races that they ran, they finished in the top 10 twice.
Nice.
They didn't run 25, but the overall like racing entity did 25 races. They only did 2, and they finished in the top 10 both times.
Nice, as we've got 18 to go. Witt's losing a bit on Williams. He's 6/10 back. They've got 3 seconds over that. Burrell's got Ross and Carlson for company. These are the only real 3-4 cars that are actually close together on this circuit. Everybody else is a second split between them. Schrader's now 3 laps down. He is still running. Good old Christian Strider putting it in for the boys here. But he's 3 laps down currently. Calvin Ross trying to clear Carlson, just not able to get through at this moment in time there as well. You have Paul, James. That's what the wife says. Anyway, moving on to that one. Calvin Ross.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, shh. I'll get you in, Terry. Just send me your details. Get your iRacing up and running. Let me know. I'll speak to my boy, Mr. Brusso. I'll get you in the back door. You know what I mean? Here as well.
You want to have another fun trivia question about that? Or about this whole NASCAR thing? Did you know there was 2 other major brands that actually drove stock cars? This is back in the 50s. I think it was 53. 2 other major brands that you would never associate with stock car racing. Porsche and Jaguar.
Nice.
Yeah, who would have guessed?
Who would have known?
Who would have known?
Oh, dearie me. If anybody's watching this, we are a professional outfit on JPB. We're full of intellectual knowledge here as well. As I said, if Kenton don't know it, it's not worth knowing. So there we go. 16.
The amount of absolute useless knowledge I have.
Oh, dearie me. He's got more useless knowledge than Shrek's swamp's got mud, I can tell you that much. Carlson just about to try and go at the inside of Burrow. Hey, look, don't knock it. I'm just giving the information here as well. So, you know what I mean? We'll go with that one. So Carlson's coming in to turn number 2.
It's not even just stock car, I know.
Oh, dearie me.
I can tell you some random facts like, Brock, you know who Brock Lesnar is, yeah? Former UFC fighter.
No, WWE wrestler, but yeah, go on.
He did fight in the UFC, won a championship, so he did okay.
I know.
The first ever televised finisher he landed was on a guy named Maven, who had a very short career in WWE, but his first ever televised one was against Maven. And then he absolutely devastated, I think it was Spike Dudley in that first ever televised match when he just appeared out of nowhere, jumped into the ring, and went well. The rest was history. And then he F5'd him, and then once he left, he went and tried out for the Minnesota Vikings in the NFL and didn't quite make it, and then decided to go to the UFC and won a championship. Did a bunch of steroids and then went back to WWE.
Nice. Well, there you
Crushing
go.
it.
Absolutely smashing it. the useless knowledge of this evening as well. You know, people, what can we ask for here as we tackle the BSC at Indy with Devon Collicott chasing down? Well, that's actually Strada in front. That's who we really want to look at. Jamelin Marlowe, Auto Sports, Andrew Jamelin here with Devon Collicott. Witt's lost about 2.5 seconds to Andrew Williams. Here, what are these guys got to do? Because OWR at the moment, if it ain't Williams, it's Holterman. And if it ain't Holterman, it's Williams. How are they going to... They can't ballast the car because they ballast the car. They ballast everybody in that car. You can't ballast an individual driver. But how are you going to stop OWR extending this? We might end up with 20 wins in a row for the OWR boys.
I think they got to talk to Brusso, see if they're using any webbed gloves. I think that's advantageous and is a big problem.
I agree.
So they might be driving with webbed gloves.
Just ask Joe Logano if you don't know what they are.
Yeah. Or they might have a little bit of that, some innovation, extra cooling ducts that no one else has. They're getting under the hood and tweaking some things that they're not supposed to be. I think they got to get the FIA involved. We always know they're not corrupt. So I think that's the best option here now. Ask any F1 team principal. They'll tell you how to get involved and ruin everybody else's year. Or at least cause problems. The flexi floor, that's the big one. Yeah, all the Orange Wheel Racing guys, they're all running a flexi floor, so we should probably get that banned as well. And just, things like that.
Okay.
The adjustable, what was it? The adjustable wing. That was something I believe. I can't remember what year it was. I want to say it was in the late 2010s where NASCAR was actually looking into a rear wing that would adjust as you were going. Like you could push it basically like a DRS for NASCAR.
Oh,
It sounds ridiculous, but that's probably what they got going on.
maybe.
I'm going to put my money on that one.
All right, well, we'll go with that one. Completely oblivious to Mr. Kenton Sportak's way of thinking on that one as we go here as well. 12 to go. Stottner's sitting in 5th at the moment. Jamelin's right behind that. Collicott's right behind that, in front of him as well on this way. And listen, who's got the most cup wins at Indianapolis?
Oh, I honestly actually don't know.
Okay,
I've never looked into that.
I can tell you. You don't Google it though, you little rascal. You've got about
I'm not.
30 seconds in YouTube chat. Tell me who's got the most cup wins at Indianapolis. Here as Stottner has just gone and jumped Collicott, jumped Jamelin in one foul swoop. He's just made up 2 places over Andrew Jamelin, Devon Collicott. So Stottner moves himself up into 3rd place now as well. So great job from Nick Stottner there from the OWR. That's OWR 1st, BCR 2nd, OWR 3rd, and then Devon Collicott in behind. I don't think Collicott's in the OWR. Even Jamelin's not in there either. Norberg is, though, however, in the top 6. Burrell and Carlson, they've been running nose to tail down in 10th and 11th place at the moment. This is another closest battle here on the racetrack. And your 30 seconds is up. Your answer is Jeff Gordon. He has 5 victories at Indy, making him the most successful driver in the Cup Series history.
I was going to say, I figured it was either Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt Jr.
No.
My two thoughts on that.
Oh, yeah. As for that's obviously an inactive driver. Who's got the most wins as an active driver?
Is it Denny Hamlin?
No. Kyle Busch. 2 victories.
Yeah.
Keselowski, Brad Keselowski is the only other full-time Cup Series driver who's won at Indianapolis. NASCAR only come to Indianapolis once per year, and with the racing back at the Oval Hour, the Brickyard 400 will be a very special victory now as well. OWR, no special equipment, just skill. Yeah, right. I reckon you've got nitrous tanks in the back, Anna. That's what it is. Don't you tell me no lies, young lady. Trying to get knowledge, I want to know what Trying to get knowledge, I want to know what everything to know.
oh, I way too much. We don't have enough time.
No, but can we look at sentence structuring so I understand what you're saying, Mr. Spadehouse Senior there? You know, at the end of the day, Norberg's just gone under Jamelin once again going into turn 3. So Norberg making his way forward as well with the OWR. 9 to go. Where are we going to be at? Fuel situation 54.77. Actually, they might and should be able to carry enough. Stottner's going to go round. Stottner's on his way round. Oh, well, he's on his way to somewhere. Maybe Tipperary for Nick Stottner there. Got all loose coming out of 4. Got that horribly wrong. And has managed to lose that 3rd place to Devon Collicott. And now his teammate Norberg jumps in front of him. Jamelin in behind that one. Clint Holterman behind him there as well. Where is my boy Trenton Kimmel? He's unfortunately down in 19th at the moment for Trenton. But this battle is heating up as we go into the final 8 there as well. So let's see, 8 to go at the Brickyard, and it's Norberg. God, that looks so easy over Collicott. It looks almost like Collicott moved to the side there.
Yeah, it seemed a little interesting. They definitely allowed that space, and I mean, if you see gap car, and he definitely saw gap in car. It looks like okay, maybe it was just the graphic loading because it looked like Stockner had a little bit of damage to the back end of his car, but maybe not, as it kind of loaded in all fine.
I think you are right. The question is, where on the car is the damage? That's going to be the question. He's just punctured the wall.
I'm
not sure. It's not showing up where the damage is. 7 to go here as well. Nick Stottner sitting in that 4th place with Collicott, with Jamelin, now Norberg in that Tabasco livery machine in Chevrolet, making his way forward there. Stottner's now cleared Collicott. Jamelin, Holtman is still trying to chase up to these guys. That's Trenton Kimmel behind that. Don't panic too much, but OWR Williams, 6 laps to go, out in front by 3 seconds here over Alex Witt. These boys are absolutely flying.
Yeah, Williams is just head and shoulders gone. Not sure why he's much faster, but yeah.
I can't answer the question, to be honest. What can you do to the cars need my glasses? Yes, you will need your glasses. You can adjust your brake bias, you can adjust your steering angle, and I believe it's your steering offset on I think that is right. I will just quickly have to double check that one, as I believe that's all you're able to change. On a fixed setup, yes, it is fixed setup, so that is literally all you can change. Brake bias, steering offset, and it's a steering angle something thingy bob. Can't remember what it's called, but there is one other change you can make. I think it's like 3 changes possibly you can make on a fixed setup. That is basically about it. Yeah, but you can just get the, get your iRacing, get your car, get your track, and away you go. Can you adjust the tyre pressures, wedge, and nope. TJ not telling me much. Well, listen, no you can't.
Not much to tell.
No, not on a
not much that changes.
Yeah, not on a fixed setup. That's the problem, because it's fixed. You can't really change a lot. If it's open, then obviously you can change whatever you want in the pit stop from where you're driving, but you can't change a lot in fixed, can you, Kenton? You're kind of tied here.
Yeah, you get what you get and you don't get upset. Basically the way about it.
Until somebody puts you in the wall, and then you get very, very
well,
mad.
That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other one.
That's another feeling that you'll get as well. Right, 4 to go, and at the moment, Williams, Witt, Norberg, and I'd like to point out as well, we've still only had the stage as the caution. It's a great job.
Well, now he's jinxed it, so all right, get ready, everybody.
It's not with 4 to go. Ain't gonna matter. And first things first, right? Let's look at the scenario. We've got Norberg Stockner behind Jamelin, Polycott, Holterman. Too far spread out away from each other. They're not obviously pushing each other as much as we thought. That's actually a back marker. That's the 19 machine down at the back there as well. That is Tom Kuhn in that 19 livery machine. They're too far away from each other. Unless something really dramatic happens, I can't actually see this ever changing from the positions it is. Williams should take first, Witt in second, Norberg third. Jobs are good and jobs done. So basically an IROC race. IROC?
Yes.
Help me out.
iRock, it's, if I remember correctly.
Google.
Oh my gosh.
I heard your keyboard going.
The iRock Race Series, it's literally, so it's International Race of Champions, North American Auto Racing Competition. I believe they actually, yeah, it was it started in 74. It's, do they still even do it?
I don't know.
I don't know if they still do.
Don't know.
I know in 2021, like Tony Stewart ran in it. I think, yeah, the SRX is now what used to be, is based on what iRock was. Identical cars, everything's the same, you just go, there's not really anything you can change, and kind of go from there. I don't want to say it's lower level, but it's more like introductory sort of idea.
All right. Well, we got 2 to go. We're just about to go on to the final lap of the race here. You know, he doesn't want me to go round him. I'm old. This is true. Final lap of the race. The white flag is out at the Brickyard. Andrew Williams, who's absolutely dominated. Alex Witt here with Matt Norberg sitting in third, Stockner fourth. Then we've got Jamelin, who's got Collicott Holterman right behind him. There's no more cautions regardless now whatsoever. Final lap here once again. Jamelin still trying to get past here. Holterman still trying to push his way forward over Davin Collicott. Is losing enough points to Andrew Williams is in this championship from where he is currently at the moment. And Williams is on his way into the entrance of turn 4 while Holterman is coming into 3. He's trying to clear Collicott. He's not going to get him. But ladies and gentlemen, your winner at the Brickyard from OWR, Mr. Andrew Williams. Check it out. Waving. Great job from him. Alex Witt wraps up second place there, and Matty Norberg comes over the line in third. What's going on down here? Jamelin and Collicott. Holterman's in there. It's going to be Jamelin, going to be Collicott, and it's going to be Holterman behind that one as well. Great racing here. Flat green right the way through, bar the stage break as well. These guys done an incredible job, right?
It was, yeah, fantastic race. It was enough excitement in the midfield to make up for the Max Verstappen-esque drive by Andrew Williams there. He just kind of was gone, and that was it, far outside of the restart after and pit stop. But other than that, he was kind of in no man's land, just kind of doing his thing and having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew Williams there as well. We'll wait for him to do his celebratory donutters, if we're going to see any. And I'll tell you what, why he's doing that, let's bring you up the race results. And it is Andrew Williams in first with Alex Witt in second, Matthew Norberg in third, Stockner in fourth place in the end. Andrew Jamelin in fifth, Devon Collicott sixth, Clinton Holtman seventh, Ryan Whitlock eighth, Hunter Carlson ninth, Andrew Burrell in 10th with Noel Jackowitz in 11th, Calvin Ross in 12th, Armin Brewster 13th, Brandon McClellan 14th, then you got Bradley Young, Rob Sizemore, Trent O'Kimmon and Tom Kuhn rounding out the top 18. Joshua Keefe, Christian Strada down the back end there. Did them donuts not last very long there? Jamelin,
yeah,
Keefe and Kimmel. Doing some form of train.
I'm curious if it's a lack of fuel.
You reckon?
At least one of them, because it looks like they're pushing Jamal in there.
I agree. I think one of them may be out of fuel, but I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a chat with your winner here today, one Mr. Andrew Williams, the man who took the first place. He took stage. He wasn't in the Discord for me to have a chat to him at the stage there, but we won't hold it against him as we went on and won the race. Andrew, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Well, I'm doing all right. I would have loved to have a chat with you earlier on, but you weren't around.
I know. We had a couple guys that wanted to watch us race and weren't in this Discord, and we didn't want to deal with last second getting them in the right channel and yada yada yada. So no stage interview, but glad to be here now.
Yeah, you should be as well. You've got stage win. You've gone straight pole. You've had almost a triple crown in it. You know, when you look at it, you've got pole, took stage, and you took the victory as well. No, you didn't. I don't think you quite got the fastest lap, but you know, you've got them free. How was it out there for you anyway?
Man, it was the smoothest race of my life. Honestly, was able to get out to a big lead early, and then I got really lucky with Strader. He had a disconnect issue right at the start and came out 2 laps down, and I was able just to draft off of him and keep a healthy gap to Clint and all the guys behind for all of stage 1. And kind of same thing second stage. Witt pulled a crazy move on Clint and just totally killed him, but that gave me a big gap to the field, and I was able just to manage that for the rest of the race.
I can say to you, though, on that move with Witt, there was initial contact of Witt run high up into the wall, and then after that there was a wonderful internet issue that shot Holtman off into the direction. So we did look at that. Unfortunate. Yeah, and we did say that there wasn't 2 lots of contact. There was only one when he ran up into him, coming high off the inside, and then unfortunately the internet played its wonderful part after that as well. Going forward for you, you've closed some points up on your buddy, Mr. Holtman, as well. After obviously that incident, do you think you can get the 2 out of 2 with 2 rounds to go?
I really think I have a great shot to win Chicago. I've been stressing all season. I've got a work trip the week of Michigan, so I'm not going to make it to Michigan. So I'm trying to just put as many cars in between me and Clint as possible before we get to Michigan. So hopefully I can build a big enough gap. Tonight really helped. Hate to see Clint's issues, but that's kind of always the risk you run whenever you're battling people for position. But it was a great points day for me, so I'm going to try and build a big gap, and hopefully we can get it done.
All right, man. Well, good luck. Let's see how you got on. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Of course, I want to shout out all my Orange Roll Racing guys. We put on another great show here. 2 cars on the podium. I think we had 3 of the top 5. Really a great run for everybody. So, happy to see him. Happy to have the orange wheels back on. Obviously, they were moving fast tonight. So, we'll do it again next week.
Man, well, good luck with that one, and look forward to seeing you at Chicago next week, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Right, next up we will have a chat with the man himself as well in that 594 Ford there, Krispy Kreme's very own, Mr. Alex. Alex, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Doing good.
Good race?
Yeah, decent race. I mean, I'm definitely not a huge Indy fan. I don't have much pace here, so second's pretty good.
I can never sense with you, Alex, whether or not you're happy or you're upset. Are you happy with where you finished, or are you upset with where you are at the moment?
I mean, yeah, with everything, with where my pace has been, I'm pretty happy with second. It's just I've struggled a lot with having pace as the next gen has progressed. It's a really tight car, and I like a really loose car, so it's definitely been a struggle. So, in one sense, not super happy with the car, but I'm definitely happy with second after that. I just didn't have enough pace to save enough fuel that first run of that second stage without kind of risking falling back into the other cars. So I was just kind of running to try and maintain second there.
All right, where do we see yourself going forward? You got Chicago round 11, you got Michigan in the final round at round 12. How do you think you fare at them?
Chicago, I don't really remember, but I do remember liking Michigan. I like the big tracks, so I think that'll be the one where I can do the best.
Where do you see your championship this season, Alex? It's been a bit of a weird one,
Yeah.
isn't it? You know what I mean?
I have no clue. I haven't been focusing too much on it. I'm kind of just showing up and trying to drive the best I can. I guess it's not been a huge concern with how my performance has gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I found it's been a bit of a roller coaster season for you this summer one, you know, and look forward to seeing what you can do after this season finishes, to be fair. But, you know, look, as always, much love for jumping in and having a chat with us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to the Breakfast Club as always. Thank you.
Man, take care. Have a good one. And the final interview of this evening is another OWR there as well, Mr. Matthew Norberg. Haven't spoken to him for a while, to be blatantly honest with you as well. I can't actually remember the last time we had a chat with the old Tabasco Chevrolet. Here, Matt, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Thanks. It was a fun race tonight. It was definitely an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, up 4 places, bud, from where you started as well. You know, it seemed to be a battle of, I can't work out if it was a battle of fuel saving, if it was a battle of who's going to get the pit stops right. You know, what was it this evening in this race? Because it just seemed there was people pitting early, people pitting late, some people, you know, trying to manage and stuff like that. What was it racing for you out there?
Yeah, so I pulled a silly, goofy move at the start of the race and actually missed the start. So I qualified 7th, but I started in the pits just because I wasn't paying attention at the time. So started the back. I knew that first stage was going to be a bit more flat out than the second stage. Made my way up to the top 10 before the pit stops. You know, that first stage was just about pitting as late as possible and putting in a half tank of fuel to get just to the stage break, no tires. And the second stage was all about the fuel saving. I think if you got to lap 54, you could pretty comfortably make it to the end. If you got to lap 53, you could, you know, you'd have to squeeze a little bit of more fuel out of your tank in that last stint. And I think if you were able to get to lap 54 on that, in that second stage, I think that's what at least it put me in a good position to push in the second half of that second stage to move up. I think I was like 8th or 9th before the pit stops, had a good pit stop. And then came out like 6th maybe, and then I passed a couple of cars to move my way up to 3rd, just in that last stint.
Yeah, we did wonder where that was going to put you on the fuel and the 55% limit you had here as well. Going forward, though, for you, Chicagoland Speedway next week, what do we think your chances are going to be there? Are we going to see you on the podium? You've had a very up and down season, man. You know, this is one of the things, isn't it? You know, so used to you being able to run up the front. It's just been very up and down. Chicagoland Speedway next week. How do you see yourself getting on there?
Chicagoland's a fun one. You know, Cup cars don't go there anymore, so I think it'll be interesting setup-wise to see what is in store for us. But I think Chicagoland has treated me pretty well in the past. You know, I think my best track is like a place like a Kansas or a place like a Miami where there's that progressive banking. And I performed really well at both those tracks so far this year, one at Kansas. And so, you know, hopefully Chicagoland treats me just as well as some of those other 1.5 mile intermediate tracks.
Oh, man. Well, good luck with that one as well. Hopefully see you on track next week. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go, bud?
Yeah, big shout out and thanks to all my OWR teammates, Clint, Drew, Ryan, Burl. You know, all you guys are fun to race with. And big shout out to you guys up here in the broadcast booth making this happen. It's it's really fun to talk to you when I get up here in the top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully we'll have a chat with you next week, mate. But for now, buddy, as always, take care.
Awesome. Thank you. You too.
There you go, Kenton. You know, it is almost like a stark contrast between Andrew Williams, Matty Norberg, and Alex Witt when you talk to them. Alex reminds me of a very Kimi Räikkönen-esque interview. You know, you're pushing for words and you're getting one, and you know where Matty and Andrew are quite happily just to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And that's why I asked Alex whether or not he was happy, because I couldn't gauge what way he was here. You know what I mean? I wasn't sure if he was happy with second, if he weren't happy with it. his emotions, he don't show emotion a lot, does he? It's very tough to interview him, but I think he said he seemed happy with his second place, so let's hope we can go by that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, I guess, what's the best way to say it? He's very stoic and blunt. He just gets to the point and gets over and moved, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like he shares what he needs to, and nothing more. I mean, kind of. I get it. I've definitely been there where I'm like, I just don't want to. So no shade. Doing his thing.
Okay, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and do all that fancy jazz. We did break 2K last week as well, so hopefully we can continue the rise up here as well. Thank you so much to Mr. Spain, our senior sir. I look forward to seeing you on track. Get that iRacing account sorted out, and we can see you there as well. Wizard, welcome in. Let's go Sizemore. Unfortunately, after you put that, he ended up in the wall on that one. And, of course, Anna McAteer, ever supporting the OWR boys as well. Great race. Congratulations, Drew, and the OWR as well. So thank you so much for joining us. That's going to round this one out. Join us next week for Chicagoland Speedway before we go into Michigan for the final in 2 weeks' time. But as always, guys, I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Kenton Sportak. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.